Hi, I'm Dave Atkinson, and welcome to Life on the Straight. This installment covers the week of October 20th. Once again, demolition was job one. First, the old utility room closet framing was removed, and later the wall separating the dinette from the utility room bit the dust. In the kitchen area, the old framing around the skylights, along with the ceiling lighting and sheetrock, were removed. In the two small bedrooms, the sheetrock would be removed around the closets, and later the closet framing would also be removed. The master bedroom took center stage this week. Sheetrock was removed around the exterior of the toilet and shower room, as well as from the closet area. As the new entrance would be from the living room, more sheetrock was removed and later a section of the stud wall. Enough would be removed to allow for the reframing of a pocket door. Now, Amy and I love pocket doors. They just slide into a wall when open, and when you're dealing with a floor plan with a modest amount of square footage, they just give you more options for furniture placement. When complete, our remodeled home would employ 3 pocket doors: the master bedroom entry, the master walk-in closet, and the pantry. Almost as good are sliding barn-style doors, and we would go with that option for the master bath entry. One more thing about pocket doors. Frank told us that he was less than impressed with the pocket door frames available through building supply outfits, so a while back he decided to fabricate his own frames. The tracks and bearings were more robust, and the wood he used to sandwich the doors was thicker and of higher quality. Let's get back to the master bathroom. The shower enclosure was carefully taken apart so it could be recycled, and then the toilet and sink vanity were removed. I almost cried tears of joy watching that shower getting removed. Back when we were still living in the house, taking a shower for me was a bit nerve-wracking. Supporting myself using a walker, I'd back up as close to the threshold as possible and keep in mind that there were 2 thresholds I would have to clear. The shower sat up from the main floor area, so in addition to the shower pan threshold, there was higher flooring to clear as well. Then I'd have to hop backwards through a 17-inch door opening into the shower, which was limited even more by the plastic bench seat that we had placed inside. And the drop ceiling just made the whole space claustrophobic. Getting out was even more fun because my foot would be wet. I had more than a few close calls in that shower area since my amputation, and was looking forward to the new wet room design that was in the works. As long as we're talking about uneven floors and thresholds, this might be a good time to talk about the old flooring used throughout the house. It resembled a mosaic of various materials: carpeting, tile, vinyl, and pergo laminate, each delineated by transition strips. I'm not sure which previous owner installed the tile in the entryway and hallway, but instead of going down to the subfloor, they just put it on top of what was already there. That meant that large transition strips were required for all of the entrances that it touched: all 3 bedrooms, the hall bathroom, the kitchen, and the living room. Even going down the stairs to the basement required a little mental adjustment, as the tile floor sat higher up than one would expect. The vinyl flooring also needed transition strips between the kitchen and dining room areas, and even pergo needed a transition strip between the kitchen and laundry room, and between the bathroom area and the carpeting in the master suite. I was using a walker with a tray attachment during the time because my wheelchair barely fit between doorways, and when I'd have a load on the tray, such as when I was bringing dinner out into the living room, I'd have to be careful positioning it so that I rolled over the strips at a 90-degree angle. At the end of our remodel, there would be no transition strips between the two types of flooring, hardwood and tile. Our home had an abundance of ceiling fans. Each of the small bedrooms had one. There was a fan over the dinette table, plus one over the dining room table area, and another in the living room, and there was another in the master bedroom. There were 3 in the sunroom as well. So that's 9 ceiling fans going into the remodel, and only 3 going out. A significant structural challenge awaited the changes to the hallway and the 2 small bedrooms. As you walk down the hall towards the hall bath, the wall on the left is weight-bearing, as is the left wall of the hall bath as you enter. Spanning the 2 walls is a large beam. Now, because of truss construction, the roof trusses sit atop the stud walls and beam. But with a new planned angled entry into the small bedroom that I use as my office, that beam would be in the way. It isn't happening this week, but that beam would soon be replaced by a glulam mounted above ceiling height, and it was all done to provide a few more inches for my wheelchair to make it through all 3 doorways. Out in the sunroom, some of the wall paneling was removed, and then the crew began demo work on the tile flooring. When the tile came up, the crew was in for a shocker. Normally, a backer board is screwed to the subfloor, and then thin-set adhesive secures the tile to the backer board. Not here. The contractor used construction adhesive to glue the tiles directly to the subfloor. You'll read all about the ramifications in the next installment. On Friday, the Habitat for Humanity truck paid us a visit and hauled away numerous items from the porch. One of the guys loading the truck came over to me. Now, this is all unsolicited, and he told me that we chose the right contractor. He said that we'd sail through all future building inspections because down at City Hall, they all know that Frank's work always exceeds what is required. That was nice of him to volunteer that information and it tracked with what we have been experiencing so far. The plumber and tile guy had made a suggestion to Frank that we go with a wall-mount toilet for the wet room style master bathroom. There would be 4 advantages. First, a trough-style strip drain could be utilized with all of the flooring sloping toward the west wall. That would mean just 1 plane as opposed to 4 planes sloping to a central drain. Second, the tiles could be bigger since they wouldn't need to contour to 4 different slopes. Third, since the tank would be in the wall, the bowl wouldn't stick out so far, giving more room to maneuver. And fourth, they can be mounted at any height. It would be significantly more expensive for the toilet, but the benefits would outweigh the added cost. Frank also wanted us to gather our thoughts about upcoming electrical work, as his electrical contractor would be coming out on Monday to go over our list and begin working on his bid. So that would be our homework over the weekend. Now think about it, the types and styles and colors of lighting fixtures, the location and color of outlets and light switches, what to do with ceiling fans, what to do outdoors. We had a blank canvas and could do whatever we wanted. That wraps up another week of our Epic Remodel project. Thank you for watching Life on the Straight, and please consider subscribing, which is free, to stay abreast of new content.